So last year when COVID first hit the country and almost every city and country was on lockdown, the prices of construction materials doubled. So for the first couple of months, some developers had trouble sourcing materials, and this has slowed down construction and led to the price increase of construction materials. Hey guys, Alex here. Welcome back to my channel. It's already the middle of 2021 and we have been facing this pandemic for over a year now, going on 2 years. So what has been happening in the real estate market? Today, I'm going to be giving you my mid-year real estate report for the Cagayan De Oro city market. Now, I know that if you're not from CDO, then maybe you would prefer to know what the market is like in Manila or Cebu or other cities. But the real estate market of each city is different, and with CDO, I know the market here like the back of my hand. And I would like to share this information with you so that whether you are a buyer or a seller, you will get a better sense of the market yourself and will know how to proceed. So let's start with real estate activity. What has the activity been like this year? Let's begin with developer project launches. 4 new projects were launched on the first half of this year. First is Vilmiro Heights, Agusan by Sibulan Masters. Second is Bayview Heights by Alveo. Third is Intalio Estates by Wecom in joint venture with ProFriends and Magnum. Fourth is The Shop Houses by A. Brown. So Vilmiro Heights, Agusan. Let's begin with that. It's an 8-hectare development by Sibulan Masters Inc. with about 518 house and lot units. So this is a 2 billion project due for turnover in 2024, and it is CLI's second Vilmiro Heights development in CDO. The first one is located in the Uptown area and is already sold out. CLI started accepting letters of intent from interested buyers in December of 2020, and in just a few weeks, they were immediately able to sell out 100 units. After that, they implemented their first price increase, which is about 150,000 per unit. And then they put LOI acceptance on hold around mid-December and then started accepting LOIs again in March of 2021. In just 2 months, the units reserved by my clients had already appreciated 150 to 200,000 per unit, depending on the unit. Now, it is already July of 2021. They're about 82% sold. So that's more or less 360 units. And there are about 70 to 80 units left. Now, they are on their 4th price increase, which is around 600,000 already per unit since December of 2020. So this means that if you invested in a unit in December of last year, you would have been able to enjoy a 600,000 appreciation on your investment. For instance, a client of mine got a Zeta unit in December 2020 for 2.3 million. Now, the same unit is selling for 2.9 million. Even when development is still ongoing, the value of the project has already increased by 21%. So now, why is Vilmiro Heights selling out like hotcakes? I see 3 main reasons. First is the location. It's located in an up-and-coming area that's about a 40-minute drive to the hospital and malls. Second, their payment scheme is very affordable. Their equity payments are only between 6,000 to 10,000 per month, very affordable, depending on your unit of choice. And it's payable for a span of 4 to 5 months. So since the equity is really very stretched, then it's super affordable. Third, they have a strong marketing team. Their marketing team is very fast and efficient in handling broker inquiries, and agents can reserve a unit without needing to go to their office. So everything from payment to requirement submission can be done online. Next, we go to Bayview Heights by Alveo. Bayview Heights is a 114-hectare mixed-use development along Tablon Highway. So it's the first project of Alveo here in CDO and has been 5 years in the making. One tidbit is that other than Metro Manila, CDO is the only city that contains all 5 brands of Ayala. Ayala Land Premier, which is their most high-end brand, Alveo, Avida, Amaya, and Bella Vita. By this alone, one can really see the strength of CDO real estate market. Bayview Heights officially launched in May 19 of 2021, opening 113 units up for sale. Prior to launching, Alveo had a bit of market resistance due to their high price point. Lots in CDO are selling between 15 to 20,000 per square in the uptown area, while in the downtown area, such as in Gusa, lots are between 8 to 9,000 per square in the older subdivisions, whereas Teakwood Hills is at 18,000 per square, while their prime blocks are selling at 31,000 per square. Now, Alveo is selling 350 lot cuts between 28 to 32,000 per square, which is above the current market value of lots in Cagayan De Oro. When they launched in May 19 of 2021, they sold 31% of their initial inventory, so that's about 30 lots. Next is we have Intaglio Estates by WeCom. Intaglio Estates is a 50-hectare development, pretty big development, located in Canitoan. They offer house and lot designs ranging from 2.4 to 5.1, or at least that's what their launching price is. What makes this project different is that 3 of their designs include smart devices such as voice command lights. Alexa, turn on kitchen lights.
Okay.
So it's already voice controlled. Smart sockets that can be controlled with your phone, and camera with audio. WeCom is an up-and-coming developer that has been aggressively developing multiple projects in key cities in the Philippines such as Manila, Davao, Iloilo, Bacolod, and Cagayan de Oro. They launched last June 15 and was immediately able to sell out roughly 50 units within launching week. A good number considering they launched in the middle of MECQ here in Cagayan de Oro. And then the 4th project is the Shop Houses by A. Brown. So this is the first of its kind here in Cagayan de Oro. It's a commercial residential project located across Ignatius Enclave Phase 1 along Taguano Road. It's a 3-story building with a floor area of 230 square meters. So the first floor is really designated for commercial use, while the 2nd and 3rd floor can be used either for commercial space, office space, or residential use. Its total contract price as of launching is 16 million with 20% equity payable in 18 months. So next is we will go to the new projects due for launching. So first up is we have SMDC Condo. SMDC Condo is scheduled to launch this July, although I'm not sure if it will be able to launch because of ECQ, so it might get delayed. SMDC is coming to CDO and they are planning to develop multiple 4-story condos in the uptown area that will be similar to Happy Trees Residences in QC. So if you want to see what it may look like, then you can check out Happy Trees Residences online. You can Google it. So they were supposed to launch a couple of months back, but it kept getting pushed back because of the pandemic. Next up is Pueblo Golf Estates Cluster 5. Pueblo de Oro will also be launching a new cluster within Pueblo Golf Estates, their most premium development and brand here in CDO. So they're just waiting for their license to sell before they officially launch this new cluster. They will be offering lot units at 300 square meters with an indicative pricing of between 17 to 18,000 per square meter. Next up is another subdivision, new project due for launching by Pueblo de Oro. So they have a new subdivision which they introduced to the Brokers Network last year. It's just beside Pueblo Golf Estates and it's called Southridge. They will also be selling lot units at 300 square meters. However, they put the official launching of this project on hold because they need to wait for DPWH to complete the PUEBLO-LAGUINDINGAN National Highway that runs along the subdivision before they start developing the area. So it's highly likely that Cluster 5 will be launched first. Now, how has the pandemic affected the real estate market? The real estate market has stayed quite resilient throughout the pandemic. But of course, it has still been affected. Here are the effects that the pandemic has had on the real estate market. First, it has slowed down the pace of development. developers are highly dependent on different government institutions because they have to get permits and approvals before they can officially launch their project. But because many government agencies have been on skeletal workforce, cities are on and off MECQ or ECQ. This has made getting permits and approvals even slower than usual. So although the real estate development has not stopped, it has slowed down. But don't worry, it's still moving along. It will just take longer than usual because of the situation that we are in. Second is increase in price of construction materials. So last year when COVID first hit the country and almost every city and country was on lockdown, the prices of construction materials doubled. So for the first couple of months, some developers had trouble sourcing materials, and this has slowed down construction and led to the price increase of construction materials. But now it's been more than a year, logistics has more or less returned to normal, especially since real estate is considered a basic need. Third is increase of for sale through assumption. Even though prices in CDO, especially the uptown area, has continued to steadily increase, there have been an increase in sale through assumption by the sellers. So what does this mean? When a buyer buys a pre-selling property from a developer, there is no bulk cash out. The buyer just needs to pay the reservation fee, which is on average between 20 to 50,000. Some can go higher depending on the developer. And then they go on to pay the equity usually for about 24 to 45 months. Now, since the pandemic has squeezed a lot of people, some now have trouble pushing through with the sale because they now have a hard time making the monthly equity payments. So what these buyers are forced to do is they are forced to sell their investment at a loss or at least at break even to liquidate their assets so that they can use the money for something else. For instance, I had a client sell her studio unit which she bought at 1.82 years ago. So the value of this condo unit now is at 2.5. But she had to sell it at only 1.9 because they needed to liquidate fast. We were able to get her 2 units sold in less than 2 weeks. All in all, the real estate market, although it has slowed down a bit, has stayed very resilient because of the shortage of housing here in CDO. Even with all the developments going on, it's still not enough based on the demand that we have for housing in our city. So there are 2 main reasons why there is a shortage. First is there are not enough developers. There are roughly about 500 developers in the Philippines, and most of these are small-scale developers, meaning they can only develop one project at a time. So there are only a handful of developers that are capable of developing multiple projects at once because, of course, it takes a lot of resources to do so. Second is slow pace of government release of license to sell and the other permits as well. So it takes an average of 1 to 2 years for the government to release a license to sell for a new project, with 1 year being the fastest. And since developers cannot sell without an LTS because they will be penalized, then selling out a project ends up taking longer than it should. So hopefully we can lessen the red tape because fast transactions will benefit everyone involved: the buyer, the seller, the agent, and the government. The faster developers can turn over a project, the more money the government makes because they get almost 20%, transfer charge and VAT if the units are VATable, of the gross project inventory of taxes. And that's it. That's the end of my mid-year report. If you found this helpful, please help let me know what you learned from this report in the comment section below. You're also welcome to share your ideas and your own experiences in the real estate industry. My next report will be coming out on the 3rd quarter of 2021. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!